Well, hello. Sonny Puzikas here with Gospel of Islands podcast. Let us attend number 12. Tom Hollaby. I'm not sure I know who this Mike Kikes 43, who that person is. Turtle Costello, how you doing, sir? You guys let me know. Rich, how you doing? Tactical Red Pill, how are you doing? All right, well, last Tuesday I got Adam, how are you, sir? Last Tuesday, got involved with stuff and wasn't able to do it. Then things progressed from there. Our Ohio class got postponed, and then something very quickly came up. I had to take a quick trip to New York City for some business. So that was that. I haven't been to New York in quite some time. I'd be lying if I said that I didn't enjoy. It was a short stay. It was a 2 day trip. Attended to some business and then got to meet after a long many years with some dear friends. One of them, Frankie, I haven't seen in 13 or 14 years. Frankie is one of the. Oh, it's Carissa. Got it. So Frankie Filetti from New York. He's a old timer, Sistema dude. Great fella. We had some good catching up and visited the Orthodox monastery there in Astoria, New York. They had some amazing Greek food, and it was great to see Frankie. And then I met, after 37 years of not seeing, one of my friends from homeland, from Lithuania. We went to school together. He lives in Toronto, Canada now, but he was also visiting New York. So I had to hang out with him for a little bit. Shared some beverages, not adult beverages. It's Lent for me, so I was having innocent beverages, and so that was that. Now back in town, back on our property at Fort Honey Badger here, catching up with Don Stinson. How you doing, Doug Arnold? Uh, Catching up with a bunch of projects, and that is that. So first, before we go, today's sponsor is Ammo Supply Warehouse. You see the link. Purveyors of fine freedom seats, and not just freedom seats. Today, Butch posted that he has some selection of AK magazines to include Bakelights and slap sights. So you can find it on my Facebook. You can find it links, and go and support Ammo Supply Warehouse. Get some goodness that they provide. These are good people, good company, selling good product, and they. Butch participates in the classes. He trains. He's not just a salesman. He's a student. He's a dear friend. He's part of Bratva, and that's that. And Ammo Supply Warehouse is our sponsor tonight. AmmoSupplyWarehouse.com. All right, let's move on, and just a few little things here. Let me switch to some stuff up in here. There you go. All right. So we have some upcoming classes in April. Next weekend, actually, we have a clinchology. We're going to dwell deep into a clinch. That's April 5th and 6th, Saturday, Sunday, here at Fort Honey Badger. And then April 26th, 27th, we have a Shooter Fighter Matrix number 2. That does not come around very often, so jump in on that. Shooter Fighter Matrix number 2. So that's 2 classes coming up in April, and obviously you can go to my website, and the link is somewhere down here, and you can take a look at it, what other classes we have coming up. A little bit later down the road, what we have coming is I'm bringing some mayhem to great state of Pennsylvania. July 29th, 31st is Violence Uncensored, 3-day Force on Force class. If you haven't been to my Force on Force classes, they are different. They are significantly different than what you are used to. We don't do very much of a scenario work. Most of the work in my Force on Force classes is focusing on working on skills. Bill Wade, how are you doing, sir? Javier, how are you, sir? So that's July 29th, 31st. And then August 4th and 5th. And that's going to be after the muster in Pennsylvania. So on August 4th and 5th, I'm teaching AK knowledge in Mount Carmel, Pennsylvania. My PA crew are telling me that they're probably going to fill this AK class, and they may en masse jump into Force on Force seminar. Actually, 4 of them are already registered. So those of you who are planning, those of you who are close enough to PA, those of you who are going to Tremis muster, you may not want to wait for too long. I know it's still a long time till July and August, but once they are full, they are full. So that is that. All right, let us move on. We'll talk a little bit more about training later in this whole thing. But first, let's get to Sonny's reading room for this week. And this is somewhat of a unusual, I guess, for me read, although I like C.S. Lewis a lot. Uh, C.S. Lewis is definitely one of the most influential writers of the 20th century. Um, and there's a lot of books. He's written a number of books. There's a lot of books definitely worthy of all of our attention and time. But this specific book, Till We Have Faces, it's a really interesting book because this is not psychology. This is not per se mythology, although this is a myth retold. And I highly recommend this book for a number of reasons. And it's basically a retold myth of Cupid and Psyche through his life. And this was his, I believe, last novel that C.S. Lewis wrote. And it's basically retelling that story of Cupid and Psyche from the perspective of Psyche's sister Orwell. And here's the interesting quote: "I saw well why the gods do not speak to us openly, nor let us answer. Why should they hear the babbles that we think we mean? How can they meet us face to face till we have faces?" So Lewis kind of provides, I guess you can say, engaging retelling of one of the most popular myths from antiquity with, you know, I guess it does put a little bit of a different meaning, different depth into the story. And it's an interesting book. I truly recommend it. Again, it's C.S. Lewis, Till We Have Faces. Find it, read it. It's well worth it. Uh, Obviously, most of C.S. Lewis's works are more than worth reading, but this book is the one that I wanted to plug this week for Sonny's reading room in letters attend number 12. And again, those of you who are just tuning in, Alpha Charlie Concepts, how you doing? Brian, how you doing? Sir William Powell, happy belated birthday. And as you can see over there, somewhere over there you go, our new ammo supply warehouse thing. And yes, you may have noticed I'm sipping my water from ammo supply warehouse thing. And once I tilt it, it's a big number one middle finger from ammo supply warehouse from you all. And of course, I'm wearing ammo supply warehouse shirt. So just representing, just representing. Um, let's go into our next regular thing, which is conditioning. Conditioning tip of the week. And what I want to talk today a little bit about is probably something that people hate more than they hate push-ups or planks. And that would be leg raises. Lance, how you doing? Disgruntled operator, how you doing, sir? Leg raises. Why people hate leg raises? Well, for one, here in the West, the United States in particular, those of you who have attended my classes, you heard me rant quite often about a pandemic. And that pandemic is a weakness of a midsection in American males. There are dudes that have pretty strong arms. There are dudes that have decent, strong legs. Strong, I use it kind of loosely. It's a different kind of strength, but they can lift weights. They can squat the weights. They can curl. They can bench press. They can do this. Midsections are generally miserably weak. And what midsection is the connectivity of your core. And really, without developing that midsection, and I'm not talking developing midsection as far as having some kind of a six-pack or sexy abs to show off on the beach. No, I'm talking true, deeper-seated functional strength in your core that will not necessarily manifest itself in this amazing female-attracting six-pack, although side effects could be there. William Harrigan, how you doing, sir? And in my opinion, leg raise is actually more of a fundamental exercise than the sit-up. I'm not a fan of a lot of other things that you see the Western aesthetic strength trainers push as crunches and things like that. I do like sit-ups. They are done differently. But leg raises to me are just as important, if even not more important, than the push-ups and or planks. Yeah, Alpha Charlie, it's, leg raises are nemesis of most people. And once you start doing leg raises, but you do them slow, you do them right, it's it's a torture. I'm not gonna deny that. I'm not gonna say that it's some kind of a pleasant pastime, but I think it's a necessary pain, necessary struggle that we have to attend to and engage in. And again, I'm working on some videos, and there will be explanation for the leg raises. Although those of you who have my old DVD Forge, you may have seen a thing or two about leg raises, about proper structure, proper dynamics, where things have to start, and on and on. Those folks who have been here recently for the Fear Inoculum, they got a little deeper dosage of a little bit deeper dive into it. And the upcoming Bratva gathering will take those attending even deeper into that painful territory. But generally speaking, for the leg raises, what you want to do is you want to lay flat on the surface. Now, it doesn't matter if it's soft surface, hard surface, it really doesn't matter. Okay, the big thing about it is that, Tony, how you doing, brother? Fear inoculum sounds fun. Sam Russell, how are you, sir? Jason, uh, yeah, you thought Jillian Michaels was torture? No, Jillian Michaels is not torture. But anyway, when you lay down on the floor, supine on your back, there are a few mistakes that people make. When people do leg raises, they tend to raise their head off the floor. Don't do that. Keep your head down and let the things that need to work work. Yes, Tony, I've been all right. I've been somewhat in your neighborhood. Visited New York for some business, really, really quickly. So that was that. Mark, how are you doing, sir? And the other mistake that people make is when they do leg raises, when you look at their lower back, it has significant curve. So this is the floor, this is what you see in the lower back. What you want to do is you want to flatten your lower back where it's flush and it doesn't have that curve in the lower spine, creating that gap between your spine and the floor. The easiest way to do it at first is maybe putting your hands under your buttocks. That way it raises your hips up and pushes your lower back down towards the floor. Matt Hicks, I appreciate that, sir. TJ, how you doing? And the third moment with the leg raises that I do want to emphasize even more than the good form in keeping your head on the ground and pushing your lower back to be flush with the surface is slow the F down. Do it slow. Make sure you're breathing. Make sure you're focusing what you need to focus on, but do it slowly. This is not about pumping out certain numbers. This is not about achieving some kind of a result as far as, numbers, repetitions, whatnot. This is about getting familiar with the work and with what's going on during that exercise. And it does take some attentiveness. It does take some focus, which is we should do it regardless of what we do anyways. So that's not something that's out of ordinary or a special request or a special effort that you need to do. Pay attention to what you're doing. If you're involved with leg raises, pay attention. Where does it start? How does it feel in your upper abs, lower abs? Where's the involvement as far as your hip flexors, as far as your upper thighs, and many other areas of your body? Make sure you breathe proper. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Don't rush yet with doing them with hold breath patterns and so forth. At first, just do regularly, slowly, up and down. When you come down, don't put it all the way to the ground. Leave it up in the air, maybe 2, maybe 6 inches off the ground, and then start raising again. At first, if you can only go to 90 degrees angle, so be it. Eventually, you should be able to go over your head. Again, this is something that needs to be shown, and I will be filming videos and I will be putting them out there. You will see what I mean, and some details will be addressed in quite some depth. Uh, but, regardless if it's explained, shown, uh, if the, importance of it is pointed out, the biggest thing is you have to make a decision and you have to follow that decision and do it. And doing it once a month will not cut it, guys. I'm just going to tell you right now. Uh, at least at first, yes, you're going to have to force yourself. You're going to have to struggle and do it. If not daily, then at least 4 or 5 times a week, if not daily. and you're gonna have to stick with it for a while. And when I say for a while, I mean months. I don't mean a couple of weeks. I don't mean 5-week program of 5 days a week doing leg raises and you are done. You have strong core. No, months, maybe 6, maybe 9, maybe a whole year. And that takes a lot of discipline. That takes a lot of commitment. That takes determination. That takes willpower. And that's really the main muscle that people lack, is that muscle of consistency, forcing themselves to stay consistent on a constant basis and doing what they know they need to do, although you realize as you're doing it how much you hate doing that which you need to do. That is not uncommon. That is not uncommon. Most of the things that we really need to do, we probably don't like very much. There's a reason for it. Certain things feel good and we like them, but they're not good for us. Certain things that are good for us, we don't like them because they don't feel good. And that's the secret. That's the secret of the holy struggle. That's the secret of suffering. That is the gift. Okay? Accept it. Start loving it. Rejoice that you have that gift of struggle and suffering. Because most people reject that gift and they don't realize what are they throwing away. They really don't. There you go. Gary says, staying with the program is the hardest part, but if they want it bad enough, they'll do it. Wanting bad enough is good, but I think realizing that it's not just the want, it's the need. We need to do this. And once you come to that realization that it is truly a need, uh, you don't have a choice because we need to do what needs to be done. And that's just what it is. There is no other way to address it. There is no other way. There is no some kind of a silver bullet. There is no some kind of a fast track. And here's another thing. And it's something that all of us at some point in time are guilty of. We are quick to make suggestions, to give advice, especially when we're online and all, right? Um, it's something that takes a whole lot of self-discipline to zip your mouth and don't talk about things if you're not doing the things. It's I've seen so many people, even people coming to classes, they'll give an advice, they'll talk about this, oh yeah, push-ups, push-ups. I look at the dude, I know he hasn't done a push-up in the past 3 fucking weeks. But he's talking to others as if he's this, religious adherent and follower of the religion of the push-up. You know, it is hard, because maybe we have had some kind of experience, maybe we have done it in the past or whatnot. But if you're not current and if you're not doing at least to some degree those things, if you're not pushing, you're not experimenting, you're not playing with the concepts, you're not pushing your limits further, abstain from talking about it. That's just that's just the proper thing to do, in my opinion. All right. So again, I will be filming some videos as far as physical conditioning, and some of it will be public. Some of the deeper stuff will not be public. It will be behind certain walls. But once I'm ready to release that stuff and put it out in the public, I will certainly make it known how it's going to work, where and what you can access, and we'll go from there. Carissa, with the ice bath, here's the thing. So ice bath is one thing, but I would suggest start with cold water dousing instead of ice baths. And I'll tell you why. Ice baths are, I know they are all the heat now, and they're pretty popular and all that. Cold water dousing is an old way. And it doesn't take as much work because you don't have to prepare the bath. Really, what you need to do is you need to have a full bucket of ice water, whichever time of the day you're going to try to do it. Best is obviously start it in the morning. Even better if you do it twice a day, once in the morning, once in the evening. But it does have to be ice water. And if you can, you want to do it while standing barefooted on a ground, not on the floor, not on the concrete, but on the grass, on the dirt, something like that. And just raise the bucket above, and once it's above you, dump it on top of you. That way, that ice water gets everywhere, the armpits, and on and on and on and on and on. Dump it not like in one quick dump, but it's kind of like a gradual. That way, you won't get doused with it. Thus, it's called cold water dousing. And it has a lot of interesting effects. And in Russia, it's hundreds of years old tradition of doing it. Number of dudes in Sistema have been doing it for years. Uh, there was a time when I was pretty religious about it. I haven't done it in a while now, and I should probably not talk about it since I'm not doing it now, but maybe I'll start again now that you mentioned it. Actually, you mentioned ice baths, and I mentioned cold water dousing. But it has a lot of health benefits, and it's good for you. And again, it takes a little bit less work, and it's a little bit shorter suffering, so to speak, because you're not really immersing yourself into a bath, but you're just taking you know, a 5 gallon dump on top of you of ice cold water. So that is that. So this was actually kind of, we went into a health tip without even going there, but it is what it is. Uh, Cold water dousing is something that I will address actually in the future once I start doing it again, because I will. And it's a very interesting topic to talk about, and I think just so I can talk to you guys about it, I'll start doing it. So there you go. Thanks, Carissa. Appreciate that. You just kickstarted something for me that I should have been doing it and have gotten back to doing it again a long time ago, but there you are. And there we are. I appreciate that. With that being out of the way, let's get to the training topic of the week. And that's the trap. Sonny's balls to the rescue, right? The reason why I wanted to bring this up because when we were doing the last Bratva gathering, we were doing some work with and against the blades. And I posted to social media a picture where Lewis was holding a tennis ball, and then his training partner was coming at him with a training knife, and then Lewis's hand was kind of like touching the knife while holding the ball. And then he wasn't like ill, there was no ill will or whatnot, but the comments, which is pretty usual, people get all technical. They go like, well, this is not what I would have done, with his wrist pretty much against the blade and all that. Uh, the point of the exercise is not per se accuracy and exact ways of deflection and what you're going to do. The point of exercise is placing one of these. See, I wasn't lying when I said Sonny's balls to the rescue. They are actually Sonny's balls. Placing one of these in your hands, and the only purpose of that is to avoid your hands doing this. When someone's coming at you, we do have a great tendency to grab and try to control. Okay? When you have tennis ball, you'll work more with the wrist, redirecting, pushing, and all that. So tennis ball, besides many other applications, and I'm not talking playing tennis, I'm talking applications in training for fighting, self-defense, self-preservation, protection, weapons work. Tennis ball is a very, very useful tool. So we use it quite a bit. And by the way, those of you who will be coming to Violence Uncensored in Pennsylvania, you will see quite a bit of it. Um, I use tennis balls a lot in training in my force and force classes, not as much in live fire classes, but in some of my combatives classes, you will see tennis balls being used quite a bit in the context, in few different contexts actually. But in that specific drill, and the training tip of the week is using tennis balls. That way you have to hold them, you cannot let them go. And using your arms as you defending, whether it's against a knife or whatnot, it does not really matter. Okay, that is not the defining factor of it. The defining factor of it is that you're trying to unteach yourself from the overwhelming desire to grab hands. Now, is there time to grab the hands, to grab the limbs, to try to control, to try to do some kind of a lock, some kind of hyperextension, maybe a throw, maybe something else, maybe arm drag, maybe to get behind them? Yes, there is a time. The problem is, and I'm very, very much convinced that this is a addiction. Most dudes, okay, they don't try to redirect or whatnot. They try to grab and hold on. They commit themselves to the marriage with their opponent's limbs. Again, there is time when that can be positive. There is time when that can be advantageous. But my problem with it is that it's not a conscious choice. It's a habit. It has become a habit, and as such, it becomes a trap. Okay, because if you do work with someone who knows what they're doing, whether it's a blade involved or whatnot, you grab onto that hand, and this will do things to you. So again, this is partially due to the comment on the picture that was posted to social media about how the arm was placed in a risky relationship uh, with the blade. That was not the purpose of a drill. Again, the purpose of a drill is to untrain ourselves from impulsive grabbing, because that's exactly what it is for most people. They grab impulsively, and that's not something you want. In the fight in general, you do not want impulsive actions. Okay, you don't want to be controlled by the impulse. And if that impulse is due to your habit to do certain things when something is within your reach, you need to grab 2-on-1, all these other things that you will see a lot in combatives world. This should be a conscious choice and not a impulsive habit. Yes, all habits do die very hard. I'm not here to tell you that it's something that goes away easy. I'm not here to tell you that you're going to sit on the couch, play with Sonny's balls for 5 minutes, and you're not no longer going to be grabby. No, it's not going to happen. You're going to have to work on that quite a bit. And again, tennis balls, or Sonny's balls in this case, they are not being used to get rid of your habit. You cannot really get rid of your habit if you do not have faith that that which will replace your habits, your existing habits, gives you advantage. That it's more advantageous than what you were getting from your habitual work. But what tennis balls do is they give you time to work without grabbing, where you can explore what kind of opportunities and what kind of advantages that work presents in the process. So it's really a training aid. It's a training tool that allows you to spend some time so you can see with time the advantages that not being grabby can provide you in confrontation. So that's what Sonny's bowls are for. They are not some kind of a solution. I would not say that you should carry these in your EDC layout. If you want to carry Sonny's bowls as your everyday carry item, I mean, kind of weirds me out, but it's okay, I suppose. I don't know. But so yeah, that's the training topic of the week: the trap of the grab. Be attentive to it, pay attention to it, don't get all sucked in into that need. You need to grab and control. Uh, Understand that grab is a two-way street. It's a two-way marriage. While you controlling his hand controls yours. It's not a one-way relationship. It's a two-way relationship. And those who are good, they can take advantage of you being grabby. My students can testify grabbing my hands is not a good idea because I will take advantage. I will abuse you. I will abuse you heavily. So there's that. Uh, but it's just a talk. The only way to find out is actually come and see, right? So that is that. And to come and see, this is where you can find out how to come and see me. You can go to my website, sonnypuzikas.com, click on seminars, and you will see where and how you can see me. All right, if you guys have any questions, shoot. And if not, we will move on to current events. All right, so let's go there. So, yeah, what was it within the last 2 days? I think I heard about it yesterday morning, maybe the day before. Marine Le Pen. She's the leader of one of the, what in France, what in Europe they call the hard right parties. I think it's called National Front or something like that in France. They are considered to be ultra nationalists. They are considered to be like extreme right, almost fascist. They've been accused that they are Putin's puppets, that they're taking money from Vladimir Putin personally, I guess, or of FSB or whoever else controls them. That kind of died down, uh, as many other things have. But in the past three elections, that party that Marine Le Pen is a leader of, they were gaining percentages. And in the last election, Macron, that douchewagon, uh, barely won the election. So with the one upcoming, the projections were not very much in favor of the old liberal guard of French politics. Many people started talking that this is going to be the election where National Front, Marine Le Pen's party, will probably take the lead and probably will get to the top. Well, lo and behold, in the past 4 years, when Biden administration here was going after Donald Trump, they knew he was going to be running. They knew he was going to be a candidate. There was no ifs and buts about it as far as who they're going to be running against in presidential elections of 2024. So if you look at all the things that they tried to stick to him and convicted him of, all these crimes, financial things and other things, and they tried to stick the insurrection to him, that way he cannot run for the office. They didn't succeed at that, and on and on and on. something that you can, I guess, dub as a lawfare. Carissa, I'm holding all of your paychecks that came directly from Vladdy Daddy. Yeah, I'm holding them back until the sanctions are over because then we can do things with that money more freely. So I'm actually saving you guys by holding Vladdy's money from you being able to use it and deposit it in your accounts, for all your collaborative efforts and and the collusionists enterprises that you're all involved with me with. So yeah, Vladdy Daddy sends me all of your checks, and I have like a big fucking bag full of them. So as soon as the some of the sanctions go away, you'll be getting your cut. So just be patient. It's Vladdy's money is on the way. So anyway, lo and behold, here comes France, right? So they start digging and seeing if Marine Le Pen's political party was using the funds that are provided for some, however it works in the French system for pre-elections and all that stuff. And they say that they found irregularities, that money was not used in the proper way or without proper, you know, some kind of a declarations or whatnot. So they say that this was committing financial fraud. And lo and behold, she cannot run for presidency. That disqualifies her. Funny that, isn't it? Sounds kind of familiar. What's interesting about it, just over the past, 6 months, similar things happened in Romania. Certain dude here, out of the blue, came out from internet. He basically became the guy who gathered the most votes. Okay, there was supposed to be a runoff, and he would have won that runoff. Romanian Supreme Court stopped it. Fast forward a couple months, they disqualified him without any proof, without any kind of forensics, so to speak, simply by saying that he's a stooge of Russia. They are not allowing him to run. So that's two countries, members of European Union, the great defenders of democracy, right? Sounds to me like fucking banana republics, if you ask me. But what do I know about banana colors and all that stuff, right? I mean, you know. But I do find it funny that France, with that fag Macron speaking loudly about defending freedoms here, defending freedoms there, and look what's going on in his own country. Not like we really need to much more proof, considering how all the protests and other things happening in France, how it was dealt with, and on, and overall, the rights, the freedoms. Uh, yeah, Macron, shove it up your ass, okay, if I may say so. So here it is, our esteemed European Union coming out of the closet and not even hiding much that our democracy works as long as you are in step with what we tell you democracy should look like. And if you have other ideas about immigration, about war in Ukraine, about any other things, uh, you are Russian stooge. And yeah, yeah, welcome to the European democracy. Yeah. Now here's the thing. I've been to France many, many times. On some occasions, I actually greatly enjoyed visiting France, especially when I was in southern France. When I was teaching with my students, with my friends, even in Paris, I enjoyed the time teaching. Now, I'm not saying I enjoyed so much seeing what I saw, but, we enjoyed amazing food. We enjoyed the amazing French cuisine. We saw so many things, and friends of mine took me places, and I had a chance to travel across France, southern coast, Mediterranean coast of France, eat incredible food, drink incredible wine, train with incredible people. So, I'm not per se like people say, well, you just hate French. No, I don't. Okay. I met a lot of tough French guys too. You know, they certainly not gay. So, Tom Hollaby, a Russian agent, and you know it, said some Navy SEAL guy, Moochie, yes. Yeah, Clem is French and he's pretty cool. And Clem is not the only cool French, I had a number of French students who were very, very good students, tough guys, great students, And some of them I even, we did not hold the same views on politics. Some of them were very staunchly anti-gun. They could not understand this American obsession with firearms and all that. That doesn't make my enemies. You know what I mean? They have different views. They have different cultural upbringing and on and on and on. They can be liberal for all I fucking care, you know. But again, I don't necessarily, am some kind of an anti-French guy, but watching what that republic, supposed to be a republic, what are they doing is freaking sickening. It's freaking sickening. And another thing is obviously Macron, together with his best pal, Keir Starmer, or whatever his name is, the wanker from London, you know, that guy. I guess they started what they call coalition of the willing. Now, mind you, Trump is trying to start some kind of a talk, some kind of a de-escalation between Ukraine and Russia, and it's a lot to address. The issues are complex, the issues are many, and really, the options for Ukraine are pretty much non-existent, and Trump is trying to pull something off, trying to make some kind of a deal that at least would save Ukraine as a state, as a country, you know. And meanwhile, our European geniuses, Macron and Mr. Starmer there, they put in the coalition of the willing. Now, mind you, neither Trump asked them for it. They are well aware, okay, that Putin will never go for it. If they try to push it, there will be no peace deal. And as a result, a few 100,000 or maybe another million of Ukrainians will die. Granted, there's going to be 100,000 or so dead Russians in addition, but who cares about that, right? And at the end of it, there will be no Ukraine to talk about. Because Putin will never accept any NATO country or any European forces as some kind of a peacekeepers. Trump is not talking about it. Yet these two douchebags, with a total military power capable to deploy anywhere, probably limited to about 35 to 40,000 people between the two countries. Okay, they're gonna go and protect Ukraine from further aggression from Russia. I don't know what kind of cock they both smoking, because it sounds to me like they are, maybe each other's. I don't know. You know, you know what? In tactical red pill, they not even actually Valentino. France, UK, Germany are middleweight powers at best. Yeah, at best, at best. Granted, France and UK, they do have a nuclear, okay, but I, not that my voice matters, but I would very strongly suggest to them that you don't want to play that game at all. So anyway, these two douchebags, with participation of some others, they trying to insert themselves into the whole peace negotiations while they're not even invited to be at the table. Zelensky, of course, being a stooge that he is, he's all in it. You know, his latest thing is that Putin is gonna die very, very soon. He's been saying that for fucking 4 years. Putin's still around. Doesn't show any signs that he's, preparing for departure or whatnot. And I don't know. You can't help but kind of get the feeling that some people are more interested in prolonging this war and the wholesale slaughter of mainly Ukrainian people. For what? Are you really trying to push that far to where it becomes direct conflict between NATO and Russia? Do you really want that? Do you think this is going to play out well? Do you think this is going to end up in a defeat of Russia? Because if you do, you're no longer even qualified to go get yourself checked as far as your mental capacity and mental functions. You are fucking insane. Oh, Tom Hollaby, I remember all these things. I remember how certain generals from here that are still being quoted. It's Crimea was supposed to be taken back by the end of 2023. Then they moved it up to summer of 2024. Crimea was going to be back under full Ukrainian control. How's that working out, eh? I mean, I get it. Timelines sometimes can be unpredictable, especially in the business of war. And this is a big war by now, you know. But I don't know. I just get that sinking feeling that there are enough powers out there that come hell or high water, they want this war to fucking continue. Oh yeah, I saw that somewhere too, Tom Hollaby, that Russian ran out of AKs. I mean, you know, just 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 to publish something like that, like it tells you what these people think about us, potential readers. How fucking stupid they think we are. Russia ran out of AKs. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Like Russia ran out of AKs. It's like saying that that valley outside of Los Angeles that produces 80% of Western Hemisphere's porn will run out of the fucking porn actresses. Are you serious? Like who? It's mind-boggling. It's really mind-boggling. But anyway, so much about the current events. And last but not least, as I told you at the beginning, today's sponsor, the main sponsor, is Ammo Supply Warehouse. You should go to their website. You should check what Butch has, and he has a lot of good stuff. Not just ammunition, he has magazines, magazines for AKs, magazines for ARs. He has magazines for SIGs and 365s and 365s XLs. He has magazines for Glocks and many, many other great things. He has wood for AKs. Go to AmmoSupplyWarehouse.com, check him out, and get some goodies. All right. And of course, there is a second sponsor, which is full-time sponsor since the very beginning. And that sponsor is Ford Honey Badger body sprays. As you know, this has been around for a while now. 47 MAGA Orange. That's an organic body spray for men. I'm actually using it. It's nice, all organic ingredients. And basically, it's a cedar wood with a little bit of a citrus orange tones. And here is a debut of a new product, this time for ladies. Spice with a dash of nice. You see that Ford Honey Badger tattoo on this lady's hand? Yeah, it's pretty damn cool. So this is a new body spray that Megan just started selling. Spice with a dash of nice. We haven't put it yet on our website, but I will address that this week because today is day number 2 of this being in the bottle. So that's that. You can go to my website. As I said, we do have the 47 MAGA Orange on my website, and we will have this Spice with a dash of nice shortly. Shortly, meaning this week. We will have it on the website there. No, Valentino, I did not watch Daniel David's deep dive with Judge Napolitano. There's so many things. I really wish I had time to watch all of it because there's a lot of interesting things, a lot of interesting opinions, and people have things to say, and some people, they do have interesting angles that they look at the issues at from. And God willing, someday I'll be able to check it out. Okay, so Daniel David deep dive. Okay, Valentino, actually, could you send me a link, if you don't mind, through Facebook messages? Send me the link to that video, and I'll see if I can get to it. So that is that. Oh yeah, and product spotlight, of course, is our organic coffee, and we do have 3 flavors. Actually, right now in stock, I only have 2 flavors, but we will be reordering the other one. This is Texas Maple Pecan. This is organic coffee, whole beans, and we have spiced orange, which happens to be my favorite. And that one is basically coffee beans that have been roasted in cinnamon. And then in the latest stage of a roasting, they put in some dried orange peels in it, and it adds some amazing, amazing flavor. Well, shit, Carissa, you still guys at the same address, right? All right. Well, send me a message that way I don't forget because I do forget. Tom Hollaby, maybe it is divine, but I would remove the cream. Honey, yes. Cream, but it's personal choice. If it works for you, that's fine. Uh, anyway, so the hour is up. I appreciate you all being here. I will be back next Tuesday, God willing, if nothing unforeseeable, you know, comes up. I should be here. This coming weekend we have a class, so we may We may get some footage from that class. I still have a lot of footage from the March Madness, from all the classes we did here, to go through, put it together, sift through, put some video clips, and then put some longer videos that will go behind the paywall. But some of it will be shorter versions will be made public. Alpha Charlie Concepts. Yes, I said magic word, coffee. If you're interested, message me, and I'll let you know how to get it. But I appreciate you all being here. You all enjoy the rest of the week. Those of you in the path of all the rains and storms, be careful. And I will see you, God willing, all next Tuesday. Bring a friend. Uh, don't know yet what I'm going to be talking about next Tuesday, but probably something controversial. I don't know. I'm not traveling anywhere, so, you know. Peter, yes, we are kind of towards the end, but you can rewatch it because it will be on YouTube. It will be available to rewatch it. So, behind the enemy lines in California. Yes, sir. All right, y'all. Have a good one. Peace. Go check, support our sponsors, Ammo Supply Warehouse and Ford Honey Badger Body Sprays. And I will be seeing you all next Tuesday. Sonny Puzikas here from Ford Honey Badger in Texas. May God bless.